This is Living Olive, a vision on a mission.
Father, we thank you tonight. Thank you, Jesus. Because your power is the ultimate. Your word is in and in. Whatever you've declared stands. Nobody can stop what you've proposed. Everything about us, you know well. You know the end from the beginning. You know how to handle those that bring out cruelty. You know how to stop the enemies. Yes. You know how to pick someone from nothing to something. You are God of opportunities. Tonight we ask for your intense spirit to come and take absolute control. Challenge all our challenges. And bring us into the supernatural. May your name be blessed because your Lord answers prayer. For in Jesus' mighty name we pray. Thank you, sis. Number one. The very first thing you must know about yourself is that you are supernaturally conformed. You are supernaturally made. That's the first thing. If you don't know whom you are called to be, you'll be whom they want you to be. But as for me, I am concerned about being whom God says I will be. When I look at people speak, I will know whom they've called themselves and whom they believe they are. When I watch people behave, I will know whom they have decided to follow or to be in life. Tonight, you have to listen perfectly. Number one, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? If you know who you are, it will be reflecting in your daily life. And again, you will not be frustrating the grace of God. For the facts that are concerned, a lot of things are no longer the issues on earth. Let's watch from the day of creation. Bible says that God saw the earth void and shapeless. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. Then all this was. Let's go to the book of John chapter 1 from verse 1. John 1 from verse 1. God said, let there be light. And there was light. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Son was in the beginning with God. All things were made by Him. Without Him was not anything made that was made. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and darkness comprehended it what? Not. Now, hold darkness. And God said, let there be what? Light. And there was what? Light. And here he's talking about the creation before it mentioned about this light. Bible says, and that light shineth in darkness, and darkness comprehended it what? Not. Now let's get down and be shocked. There was a man. Okay, anyway, go back. All things were made by Him, and without Him was not anything made that was what? Made. Watch. So God created you. Yes, Father. In Him was life, and that life was the light of what? Men. So the light He introduced is the life in you. So don't separate the light from the life. So the light He said let there be means let there be a kind of light that controls things that are void. I don't know if you can do this.
I don't, sir.
The light He said let it be is let there be such life. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. If you read, you get to a point where He said that light lighted every man that cometh into the world. Now, we have two lights. Light that gives illumination so that people can see, and the light that lighted men. So there are two kinds of lights. Light that gives illumination so that you will not stumble as you're walking, you have your touch, you have sun, you have moon, you have electric light. That's light. We have another light that lightens every man that cometh. So two kinds of light. Light that shines for normal and natural illumination, and the light that shines on a person. So these are the two lights. When you talk about antibiotics, they say you have gram negative and you have gram positive. Now when you talk about supernatural, we have positive supernatural and negative supernatural. And for whatever you want to achieve in life, you must be empowered by either. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. Section 1, you must be empowered by either.
You must be empowered by either.
Now, what do you know about life? People are talking about celebrities. I want to become this person, I want to be like this person. Sometimes what they do when it is said to you, do that, you say, am I mad? They are not mad, but someone empowered them. They are intoxicated by some forces that are not in you. That's the reason why they can come out naked and they cannot come out naked. Because somebody is in control of them. They said to you, will pay you. Just move around the street naked. You said, I won't. And somebody is boldly saying, I am a porn artist. Coming out, being bold about it. That I'm the person that won the best actor for the fact that porn is concerned. Now watch. There was nothing that was made in his absence. And this light is the life in him. He created all these things through a certain kind of life. So he is expected to create all these things he created because he has sufficient light. Yes. And for you to create your world is expected that you have this light. Now everybody look at me. Any child of God that misses his portion, God is not the cause. The day we got born again, the day we are called into this kingdom, we are given authentic power to become creators. So we become what and who we are. You know, that's why most times I love in programs that I'm holding now, or programs I conduct. It is not a program you come, I'll begin to pour olive oil, I begin to do some one or two things. No, listen. People that will be big, and they will be big indeed. Yes. I'm not talking about people that mistakenly fall into prosperity to be ashamed tomorrow. I'm talking about those that will become whom they are supposed to be by destiny, that nothing takes them away from it again. When the Bible says, ye are God, I say, we are God. Okay, I choose to be God, the Creator. He did not say, you are a certain kind of God. God is God. Jireh, he is the God that provides. If he says that I am God, I am meant to provide in the midst of people. If he says he is Jehovah Rapha, it means I am bound to heal when I'm in the midst of people. Reason is that we are God, but everyone does not have this understanding that we are. So some must need our attention as God. Everybody will not be that. St. Paul was with so much people. When the trouble came, he said, don't worry, there will be no loss. When he came down and was beaten by a snake, they said that if food that suffering brought you to come out from the ocean has killed you. And the Bible says when they watched and looked that he would collapse and die, and he did not die, they turned and said, you are God. This man is God. So when will men declare that you are God? When you are able to do what they cannot be able to do. So, I don't know if I'm talking to somebody. When you are a real God. Now everybody watch. If you are God, your response to life events tells me whether you are. Number one, how have you responded to your disappointments? Many of you have spoken words that will tie you down forever. without divine intervention will not be free. Many of you did not speak, but you have behaved it. Many of you did not behave it, but they have acted it. Many of you have not acted it, but they thought of it. Let me go back a little bit. If you say that you are a child of God, who have you believed that will make your tomorrow for you? You act like men, you behave like men, you speak like men, you think like men. One thing changes a lot of things for me. That is my thoughts. I control my thoughts more than I control my words. Now, to smaller Christians, he says, as you have spoken in my ears, so will I do to you. To higher dimensional Christians, he says, think of these things. Yes. You people are still battling with what you talk, but I battle with what I think. I am not saying it so that Daddy will not be angry and say that I let you talk about it. Out of the abundance of the heart. So what you spoken does not matter as what you contain. Yes, sir. We are not trying to produce massive number of people lighting up candles, lifting it up, talking all manner of things they know and what they don't know. We are not talking about having all people having olive oil, pouring it on their head for their detriment. Not everybody will do. You beautiful you peculiar you exceptional is given to your family for liberation. You don't move around. Bible said, do you not talk like men? Don't you move like men? I'm talking now. So many people might be sleeping. And tomorrow they will tell you that somebody met them there. And they will come up with one short note of a man who they don't know. People don't have value for their life. If you have words for your person, you will have your sieve. In that sieve, it must be written a standard. Before you consult your pastor, you must meet up with your standard first. If it doesn't come to your standard, you don't even talk about meeting your pastor. Many of you don't know what they want. True of us? Yes, sir. That's the reason why you always come to tent your man of God. And everybody will come and say, let me know if it has God's will. As a man thinking in his heart. So it is. Even me will be calling and say, hey, don't you see this person, pastor? I know what I want. After your preaching so that I was with them, and God said to me, I will listen to know what God has said. And what God will tell you must be the standard I want to maintain with you. Bible says, some will be prophesying, and daughters will be trying the spirit. Others will be designing it. So the reason why we have people that design is because power to have personal vision and prophecy have been given, and to confirm what you have seen. But we are such level, and excuse me, you know what devil does? He will just give you this sense that you are up to 18. Give you this sense that you have grown. Give you this sense that you're beautiful. Give you this sense that I'm better than others. Go around the world, you'll see the beautiful that have been dented. You'll see the great people who are nothing by now. That you are celebrated on a very field that a lot of people gathered does not mean that you are going to be celebrated all the days of your life. Until you know you are a creator. That's the reason why I'm not troubled when people stay around the church. I'm not troubled when people are fasting. I'm not troubled when people are praying all manner of prayers. Yes, we call that purification. I'm going to preach on that. But during purification, will you know the appointed time? I'm going to tell you that Esther went through the 12 months of purification. And the Bible said when it was the appointed time for him to meet the king. Many of you are going through purification, but they don't know the venue of their king. Exactly. They don't know where to meet their king. Many have passed their king without knowing. Until you are filled with the Spirit of God, the Spirit, let me tell you the truth. It doesn't end showing up. Before I spoke to you, I had a little meeting with my wife. I spoke about our life. We spoke about how we're going to do a lot of things to meet up with our targets in life. As there is nothing that comes in life. Excuse me, look at what's going on everywhere. We are not talking about becoming outstanding and great in life. You know, I was talking with some people. A sister said to me, and the reason why she's very much interested about this meeting is because it is not talking about marriage, but I said opportunity. You know, whenever we say single ladies, everybody will be thinking about, getting married. That's what everybody thinks about. Can I talk to you? Yes, sir. There is such an arrogance. There is such mentality. There is such fire of creativity that will be moving around you. You will see that marriage will be like a residue or sediment of the blessings. It will not be counted among the relatives. You know, when the man you're married will be thanking you for to come inside his life, not telling you that one day you leave this house. Excuse me, when you are not prepared for whom you are, where your prayer point is so shallow, so narrow, so tiny. You come to a man's house, you sit like you are there. Thank God. Who says that marriage is like a creation? Excuse me, the process of creation is that you develop your brain, you develop your eyes, you develop your mouth, you develop your chest, everything. You are meant the way you are meant. So Bible says, for this cause a man should leave his father and mother and join to a woman. So you are seeing marriage as a problem. That's the reason why it has been a problem. Until you understand that marriage is part of creation. It's a process. I know, Papa! You don't know that. You get a young girl, you see a young person, is not just talking about anything. The next thing you hear her say is that my mates. I had Frank Edward say today on his platform that greatness is a process. He says, greatness takes time, therefore take your time. That's what he said. Greatness takes time. Therefore, take your time. How have you been coordinated? Excuse me. Whosoever that is born of God. Now, how are you born of God? You are not born of God like your mom gave birth to you. You are born of God through the process of this life. He said, let us make man in our own image. After that, he breathed on him. And he became a living soul. So there are two lives. Life that goes on through the process that you are connected to your mother's what? Now through what? Umbilical cord. That's life that flows in. And there is another life. Immediately you say, Jesus, come into my life. Then somebody can be dead and alive. because you are not a living soul. The question is this: how are you creating your future? When you are creating your future, excuse me, people watches into their future. They now have a mental picture of what they want. So, how do we assess future? We don't assess future by liking what we are seeing about others. We assess the future by creating it. We assess the future by creating the future. I don't know if I'm talking to someone.
I don't, Papa.
Now, look at your neighbor. Ask him, how prepared are you about your success?
How prepared are you about your success?
I cannot hear you.
How prepared are you about your success?
How prepared are you? If you can be able to answer these questions, then I can tell you that you have a future. In him there is life. And this life is what?
The light of men.
Of me. Which means, without this life, you are blind. You are blind does not mean that you cannot get up and move outside, that you cannot detect objects. That's not what we're talking about. If this life of Christ is the light of men, it means you cannot be a dictator without this light. It means you cannot even see where you belong without this light. It means that a lot of things are shattered without this light. Now, why do we see men who are angry about things that are not working out in their life? Why? You are angry because you are not a creator. Whether you agree with me or not, whatever that can happen to you randomly as it happens to every other person, you can get whatever that every other person can get. But for you to be extraordinary in life, you must agree that your future is in your hand. The only thing that can do that is God's life. God's kind of life. I call it what? Zoe. Zoe. Now, we detect people who have this life. Excuse me. You are in a relationship. Of a sudden, that guy walks away from your life. The way you behaved have shown whether someone owns your life or you are creating a life. Can I talk to you?
Yes, sir.
If I'm moving now, and one of the most favorite things I think I want in my life is taking, which devil cannot even do. I will turn and look at it and know that something happened. And what is the first thing that flashed in my mind? What is the first thing? Purpose. Togetherness. I will join it to the book of Romans chapter 8, verse 28. That all things work out for good to them, together for good to them that are called according to his word. Purpose. So togetherness and purpose will strike my mind. I'll let it go. I don't know if I'm. Is it Romans 8? And please get it. The 28. So ask your neighbor, how have you responded to your disappointments?
How have you responded to your disappointments?
That shows whom you are. So you cannot respond to a human being as if he is your God and tell God that his future is in your hand. And one thing about you when you are not living this gospel life is that everything that happens in your life looks like devil has taken it. There are things that happens purposely for God's intention to be actualized. But when you don't live God's life, you call even God's answered prayer disappointment. Yeah?
I don't.
Oh, we can't get it.
I don't, sir.
And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to His purpose. So many are called, but there are special people who are called according to His purpose. And whatever that is not in line with His purpose must be detached. And this detachment for the purpose of God sometimes you call disappointment.
That's true, sir.
Because you are too carnal. And your moment and time of purification you call delay. So, but if you are not born again, if heaven is not having the mandate with you, if it is not actualized that you are the reason for your family existence, it might be called delay. How will I be delayed? Following divine principles, loving God so much, not taking Him for granted, not coming to church for anybody, listening to God Almighty, having this intense thirst for His person, serving Him like no other. Now, in fact, according to Esther chapter 2, Bible says that when the king's wrath appeased, is it chapter 2? Let's go to Esther chapter 2. And many of us, you can't know who you are if you are not a walking scripture. Things controls you instead of you controlling things. After these things, when the wrath of the king Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered who? Vashti, which means this is where Esther was endangered. So, can I talk to you? Don't think that after Vashti was taken away, that there wasn't dilemma in king's heart. So, concerning your king, there must be dilemma. Excuse me. I am not a pastor because I am here to take offering. I am not your pastor because I am here for us to shout my Father, my Father. I am not here because we are having a night vigil like every other pulpit. I am here because I know I am prepared to stand. I have a whole lot of things to discuss with you, but your heart is far. Yes, he remembered Vashti, so that was time. And what she had done and what was decreed against her. Just leave this one. But he remembered who? Vashti. Now, whenever you remember a person, two things must be going on in your mind. The right things she did and the wrong things she has done.
Yes, sir.
Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Anytime you're angry about a person, you might have taken a very decision that you don't want to deal with this person again. But one day something will happen himself. If it is when this person has been around, he does it very well. Though he has his bad side. So whenever you remember somebody that's in dilemma, there's something going on in your mind that there are positive part of this person's life that affected you.
I don't, Papa.
I don't, sir. So when there was this dilemma, there was a very probability that the king would say, "Oh, can we forgive her?" True of us. Now let's see the Memucans you are about to deal with. Go down. Immediately they perceived this thing. They said the king's servant, the minister daughter, let there be fair young lady sought for him. You know, when I spoke about the one in chapter 1, we thought I have ended. No, excuse me. We don't read scriptures, we ponder it. You thought it has ended with the one in chapter 1, verse 16. That Memucan said to the king. After Memucan said to the king, immediately the king remembered Vashti, that the anger was appeased and he had a lot of thoughts about her. A lot of things was going through on the king's mind? How are we going to handle this? They came in immediately. They did not give the king greetings first to take a decision. Then the officer said, let there be. It wasn't the king that said. If they have wasted time, the king might have said, let us think and give Vashti the second chance. Yes, sir. Now, have you dealt with Diana in the king's house? To remember his ex. Then, if you are the ex, have you spoken so that the king, your king, will remember you and remember the good part of you? If not for anything, for him to stand somewhere and say, I am the one that missed this girl did not miss me. And somebody will say, what are you talking about? And through that, you can be reconnected to another best girl. Exactly. You die for wordlessness. You die for uselessness. You speak. Excuse me. You know, sometimes when I look at most people, when I look at the way you operate, I'll be saying, have these people been with the king? And when they saw the apostles and the way they behaved, they remembered that they had been with the Lord. Even only daughters who've passed this level, and how am I saying that you have passed this level? Whereas most of you will move out of this place, and tomorrow you'll just be at a place, and somebody who have not made out time to read a portion in the Bible will tell you the demons that have blocked your way. Someone who have not read even a portion of the scriptures will tell you how to bet you for you to be led. And you respond because there was life given that was omitted. The light. This light is the light of men. It gives you inspiration. It makes you better than others. Can you just see that? And the officer said to him, let us appoint. And king had no option than to say appoint so that he will be a good king. Now, have you dealt with evil officers? Have you dealt with evil friends that will cause the reason why you will be taken away? Now, I want us to check and look on it. Go to verse 12 of the same verse, of the same chapter. Verse 12. Now, when every maid storm was come to go into King Ahasuerus, after she that had been 12 months according to the manner of what? Women. For so were the days of their what? Purifications accomplished. To it what? 6 months with oil of what? Myrrh. Now, myrrh means your body shall not decay. You shall not be frustrated. That's one of the oil they used to beautify Jesus on the day he was born as a gift. Frankincense and myrrh. Is that true? Yes. Now, 6 months with oil of gold and 6 months with sweet others, and with other things for purifying of the woman. So you see, the way Jesus was treated, these people were treated before they meet the king. So before the emergence of Jesus' kingship, what that was done to Esther was done to me. Tell your neighbor, saying, you can marry by chance.
You can marry by chance.
But you don't meet the king by chance.
But you don't meet the king by chance.
So there's difference between just getting married and becoming a queen designed by God. There are two different things. that person? I saw him at the convent. When? Yesterday. This one is serious. Can you just say that? I love what one woman of God said. She said, I can't marry every kind of man. So many men came, and many of them are watching me now. When you are coming, I know I can't marry your type. You are rich, but now you sit down with your riches to listen to me. I know I'm called by God. So I wasn't looking for opportunity to get married to a rich person. I was waiting for somebody that will support my vision. Then everybody should not marry a pastor you are not convinced. Are you thinking of a man that will support your vision? Oh, I saw him at the convent. And if he happens to be a handsome guy, a handsome stupid guy, is okay with you. If he happens to carry one white Emma formatic, you are there. If he acts it, what do you call it? Bread. You have a right. If earrings, they are in down. You go to his house before the bride comes. Stupid act. Because you are not a creator. You believe in pleasure more than fulfillment of your destiny. I know so many Christians who fall away from God just because they are disappointed. A brother in the church supposed to marry you, not marry you, you become mad because your God is God. And that's the reason why you don't wait to know if whom that is by your side is the real person. That somebody talks eloquently does not mean it's the person. That somebody is carrying Bible today. I know pastors who are witch doctors now. Many have turned to witch doctors. You met a guy, you met a woman. You have not given yourself time to study. Excuse me. You know how I got married? I'm very selective in nature. I have very high tests. I can go for. Excuse me. When I noticed the manner of person I am, I went into prayers. God said, if you be the one that will select, I don't know what you select for me, and that means the end of your ministry. I had to calm down and take the risk. Bowing to him to declare it openly that God said to me, don't choose. The deacons are certain, never believe me. So I am not teaching you what I have not done. And today, I have someone by my side whom you cannot convince against me. Yes. She might not be the physical test, but she quenches every spiritual test. Then, who are you? I'm not telling you what I did not do. Why have many of you been in the house of a man that did not pay his price? And you give them, some of you gave birth because you don't know your value. Because you don't know you are God. Excuse me. Instead of you to get into a mess, you decide that I'm not going to marry. That's the best one. If you know who you are, there are people who are not supposed to touch you, no matter how much they have in their pocket, no matter what they have paid into your account. There are stinking, perfumed guys. They are perfumed physically, but they are what? Stinking. You don't need to get close to them. There are stinking, beautiful girls whom God in you and spirit in them can never match. That's the reason why you go to unbelievers and you feel at ease with them. That's the reason why you can dump God for nonsense. Because you don't know who you are. We don't want to get some people offended. That's the reason why when you come with some stuffs, you talk to us. We'll be strategic about it. But me, these things are not strategic. I am not strategic. I tell you exactly what I. Excuse me. Some of you would come and say, Pastor, this person wants to marry me. We say, how? We say, yes, she has his first wife. I will look at you and say, okay, talk with that person. This time I will call you. I will ask you a question. Do you think it's right for you? And God made him a man and a woman. What do you think about that? Then you answer the questions and tell me the kind of man again you are. You come to me. You say, this guy wants to marry me. I was okay. Is he a born again? No. Does he go to church? No. I was okay. What do you want me to assess spiritually? The very first thing I'm going to see is that is wrong for light to mix with darkness. So all I will tell you is that you love him. He says that's okay. You can match with him. For me to give you vision, I must see you to be in line with divine criteria. We must know the truth, and the truth shall set us free. Excuse me. If you check the world we are into now, building a nice house, riding a good car, is no longer real. What that is reigning now is people being influenced by your person. Is that true? Exactly. Something like this guy that did his mom's burial. Looking at the money that came in. Now, he's trying to influence life by telling people the number of men he has helped to be big. So that's the story behind it. So nobody is, trying to become big, that you have a car, you have a house, and all this. What that is reigning in this dispensation is people you have done what? Influenced. If you are him and you have cried bitterly for somebody walking away from your life, you are not God. If you are him and the man has purpose to marry, I have warned a lot of people. Whenever someone comes into your life with the word relationship, be extremely careful. If you have been brought down, made flat by the word marriage, you are cheated. You are cheap. I don't want to go to the extent of telling you that if you have gone down for a man, for the purpose that he has shown you man, I call you a harlot. If you have been a wrong girl, you don't know your value. There is nothing in you that can be exchanged with money. The only exchange for your body must be love. Excuse me, I know I don't like you, but it's just because I want to get through and get my business perfected. I don't love you, but just because I want to get through my studies. I know I don't like you, but let him give me what I'm looking for. You are not God. Now, have you gone through the process of your purification before meeting your king? Have you done that? Like when mommy was praying, she was talking about attitude. I don't like talking about this because that has been our preaching just as well we gather for this program. Everybody look. When you are married, that man's supposed to be afraid of losing you because of your content. Except he is a beast. This is we look at there's one mentality going on among ladies and women. They have something, and when they have problem with man, do you know what they will say? And one thing is that I've given myself. You people value your body so much. And that's the mistake. And anytime you have given it, you believe you are giving the best. That's the worst. If you have not given it to anyone, you can just go your way. But every reasonable lady must be thinking about the time she has wasted with someone also. The time you have wasted. And that's the reason why no woman can talk to a man the way he wants, except the man he has encountered sexually. No woman can pick offense with any man, except a man he has encountered sexually. So whenever a woman has anything to do with a man sexually, his head is off. Because your nature has made you to value a certain point in your body more than every other thing. Don't go to that extent. Value your time. You spend with somebody that did not yield any results. That's the reason why a woman will not be talking about waiting for a man for 3 years. And at the end of the day, if that man did not touch her, she might just say, okay, after all, you did not achieve anything with him because you don't value time. And if it is 6 months and sexual activities happen, you'll be angry because you are calling yourself use and dumb. The man that spent much time with you, holding you at ransom without sleeping with you, have even messed you up the more. When you value what time is all about. Now, your body, sex. That is the reason why 80% of your thought is at that angle. You are not trying to build up other aspects of your life. You are busy making yourself beautiful for pleasure without preparing the intent for the future. Without preparing the intent for the future. Can I talk to you? Yes, mix yourself with valuable people and run away from every manner of person. Now, look at me. Any person you know you cannot have anything with in life, quench him at all time. I've had so many people. I know I don't love him. I know I don't want to talk to him. But because I'm lonely, I've chosen him to be passing out sometimes. I know I don't love him. I know I don't want to have anything in common with him. But I'm lonely, so I need someone to talk to. So you are operating to meet any kind of person to ease yourself. You don't have a standard. Whenever you are in a relationship, stop celebrating it like things have started happening. Think of you entering a supermarket without money. That's what it looks like. You can watch the beautiful things without accessing them. That's what relationship is all about. But you are looking at relationship like possession. That's the reason why it breaks your heart. I don't have heart to break. Because she's talking to you so fair, he's talking to me so fair, he's a very loving guy. And now you have married without being taken to the altar. And when he now got married, you behave as if you divorced. Can you divorce without getting married? What has entered your mind? Are you alright? My question tonight is this. How many of you are ready to become creators of their future? Yes. How many of you? Many of you are not even troubled when they are losing a valuable person in their life. What that brought Eve down was what she had. And any woman or women who have not taken concern to design what they are hearing, to see it, and to bring the truth out of it, they will always end up like you. Look at it. Women believe in what they hear, and men believe in what they see. Change that for your life. Men sees a shape, they are taking it without listening to what that is inside. So women, we put on phone in their ears. They are already dead because of what they are hearing. True? Yes, sir. Be very careful. And that is the reason why women will always tell you that what I need most in my life is attention. And they are not defining attention very well. Attention is not talking to you every time. Attention is making sure that you've not made mistakes. For a good man. I don't know if you are getting it. Then what is that attention? Call you in the morning and say, honey, I love you. Without you, I'm dying. Calling you after that and say, I'm already dead. By 12 o'clock, do you know they just woke me up by the way after hearing what you said in the morning. Then by 1 o'clock, you said, thank God I didn't decay. Then you hear all these things, and when you talk to such a girl, you know what she'll tell you? That man gives me much attention. They never knew that it is never attention, it's act to fulfill his intention.
Hey.
Right on, Papa. It is never attention. It is an act to fulfill his intention. Then you know one thing you know about a man that gives you attention. Whenever a man is acting, whenever a man is behaving, whenever a man is like pinching you, go and sit down and know if that pinching is for the security of unseen future. If it is that is the attention. It might be once in a week, but that's the best attention. But there is talking to you every minute. that is for your detriment. That is not attention. Is that you didn't hear me?
I don't.
So, watch yourself closely and know whom you are. Watch yourself closely and know what manner of person you are. You have a future. Honestly, God knows that I'm going to pray with you people this season like never before. I'm going to deal with spirit of Memucan or Memucans as agents. We are going to deal with them. I'm going to deal with spirit of dilemma in the heart of your king. Whatever that will cause a man meant for you to think another person, I'm going to fight it. Are you God? Who are you? Excuse me, do you know there's a reason why God has placed you? Stop thinking delay. Think the season of purification. After thinking of the moments of purification, then think about when it is appointed time for you to meet. There's a time to meet. Now everybody look at me. Adam and Eve would have lived a better life in the garden. They forfeited it as selfish interests that they have no heaven sent them. That's not even about that.
Yes, sir.
But after that, a better Adam was released. If the event in the garden did not happen, Jesus would have not come. Now, Adam and Jesus, who do you value most? Now your mistakes can give way to the best. I know, Papa. Oh my God. Let me be coming down. I don't even know. Even some of these words cannot be remembered too much. That's just the problem. Yes. Had it been, I know where I know if now. Had it been, I am whom I'm supposed to be. My last 3 years, I would have not made that mistake. Yes. Went in, a lot of things went on. Look at you. Nobody did it. It is you. Yes. The very first person to forgive is you, forgiving yourself. They never mercy for the ignorant by applying knowledge now. Because it's happened as a result of what you don't know. Or you did not know. Is that true? Yes. Some people would have married because they had this. Then go and check if there are people that have the same attributes who are celebrated. If you have married and divorced, if divorce is the case, the richest man in the world would have been divorced now. If it causes most shame. I don't know what to say.
Yes, sir.
I say if it causes what? Most shame. The richest man in the world would have not been divorced. Who are those people? You get. At a very old age. They came together and said, you see, we are not matched. For some reason, they did not worry. They just separated and everyone is on his own. They shared what they had, the woman took as a meal. She left with it. So, I married. After a while, I was divorced. Okay, I'm divorced. So that's why I am no longer bold. Go and check in the world. You will see divorced who are celebrated. Who are celebrities. I gave that at home. Just because a child came out. And 1001 people around you had the same thing you had. All happened sexually. But your own gave rise to something. And you are getting down for them by the day. Because they are saying you have an issue in your house. You have a child. And none of you will hear that Genevieve is coming around. That will not come to see her. She's going to present her daughter. You don't go from it. But for the fact it happened, don't allow it to bring you down. A sister came close to me and I was talking with her. I said, what happened to your relationship after that relationship? I'm a single mother and I'm okay with it. I said, well, are you old? Said, I'm not old. And now I can have it if I want, but I don't want. I'm a single mother. I need my peace. Let me pursue my career. Don't even talk about it. In this church. Not in America. Can I talk to you?
Yes, sir.
For you to get prepared for something that will make you valuable, it is stolen by the sense that things that are supposed to happen are not happening. I'm not yet married, and you are not coordinated to make money. Your is money answering to all things. You use one that doesn't answer all things and despise one that answers all things.
Right on, sir.
Who knows what money would have brought for you or brought for you? Now, you are shaped, and the world is following you around. Early days, we know rich men by their tummy how huge they are. With their barbaric. He and Madame will look like 50 bags of cement in their car. When they are stopped as members of People's Club, it will take them 10 minutes to get up the car. And they are being celebrated. At the stage, we are told, hey, stop! That makes you sick and you die early. Everybody started screaming down. Somebody will see what to eat and not eat because you want to live long and have a good shape. The ladies introduce that and they start being skinny. While they are being skinny, everywhere is skin. Every part of their body is skin. They say, no, you don't have to do your body to be skinny. You have to handle some parts and leave some parts to be big. As at 2001, they were running away from such. Now, in 2018, they said, no, you have to be rich, but you have to have all. make your bust big, make your buttocks big, and make hair tiny. It becomes a problem. True of us? Now the skinny girls are looking for how to do it. If you try to get fat, everywhere will be getting fat. If you want to be skinny, everywhere will be getting skinny. So how do you do that? Then you have to eat much and apply belt to change the shape of this person. What a useless woman. Just can you imagine? And men are busy. All of them that are going for night club that moves like with 8 years or 4. Anyone you see with them is very rich. Then which way? Look at you. Say your contents. It's far better.
It's far better.
By yourself. Let me explain. Your content is far better by yourself. Which means what you content is what will make you happy.
Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not the way people see or what they look. Oh, some people will be saying that you want to be for favor. That's why it's not necessary. Excuse me. There are people here who are in wrong relationship. Talking with wrong people. Moving along with sheets. Talking with them. Let me talk to you as I'm dropping this microphone. Please be a creator. Number one, by allowing Jesus to possess every integral part of you through the Spirit. Excuse me. You are a chosen church. You are not meant to be frustrated. Excuse me. Do you know, sometimes I wonder why people have patterned the way they serve God just for their lives. They omit the standard and they are stranded. Say your neighbor, when you omit the standard.
When you omit the standard,
You'll be stranded.
you'll be stranded.
Now, when you omit the standard, you'll be stranded. And when you are stranded, you stray. Whenever you see somebody that is stranded, he's ready to do everything. She or he will be looking for a soft landing. And whatever that looks like an ease to him or her, he will dive in. That's the reason why any person that is crying can rest on any available shoulder. I don't know if I'm talking to you.
I don't, sir.
Any crying person can rest on any what? Available what? Shoulder. Just to get peace at the moment. That's the reason why it is very, very bad. Okay, that will be when we talk about relationship. Anytime you've seen somebody that loves you and somebody you love, and he is very angry in a moment, don't give him breathing space. Because anyone that talks fair better than you at that moment has registered in his memory. You don't know. No, have a husband, have a wife who have been so loyal to you and is crying for a very long time, 1 week you are there. And a fool will begin and ask you, who is this wicked man who has not responded to your tears for 3 days? That fool did not respond to his wife's tear for 1 year.
Yes, sir.
against my husband. Say, this man is wicked. So with all this your tears, this man has done this one. No. And the wife will be seeing a wicked husband without knowing that she's talking with a demon. So any eyes that carries tear is resting on any available shoulder. So what do you do? I'm still talking about that one. If you're in any relationship and you know that a man loves you so much, gives you attention, and you have offended him, and he's just giving you some attitude, and you are saying it doesn't matter, tell your neighbor it's very risky. It's very risky. You don't know? Eh? Yes. The number of days gives room and space for another person to occupy their life. It's too dangerous. So anyone you love, and if men are here, I'll still talk to them. Anyone you love and you are working with, don't give him much space. But I'm going to talk about that when I'm going to create certain high spirits. Now you will hear a lot of things this season. I don't preach copy. I preach inspiration. I don't preach copy. I don't say things that entices you. I say what God wants me to say. So be very careful. Even to your boss, even to your siblings, in fact, any person that gives you attention, once you notice he is not fine, she's not fine, it is that moment when a lot of things are going through his life. Immediately the king's anger was appeased. He remembered Vashti. These people came in and said, let us find the virgin. Because the king must have said, how is Vashti doing? So, that space, that's what? Space. I know they must have given the king, this option that he will not set his eyes on Vashti. That's the reason why he remembered her. Because she has been out of sight.
Right on, Papa.
So, whenever you make somebody in your life to be out of sight, one, don't hear your voice like he hears before. There will be no process of recording. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
In the subconscious. Let me tell you that you play subconscious every day. You don't want to think about someone. Oh, a lot of things are going on there. You don't know which side to go. You are taking your bets, you want to sleep. You are not thinking about her, you are not thinking about you. You just lie down to sleep. Of a sudden, the view of roundabout came. The tape has started playing. You saw the way he drove and stopped and said, come. You had no plan of thinking about it. And you thought you had forgotten it. But the way the color of the clothes is still releasing itself. Now. So the way it is being played, you will not know. Now, when you stop such communication, there will be no record going on in the memory of that person to always put you in remembrance. After talking with a loved person, go and mark it at your quiet time. Those discussions will be running through your head. When you block that, you have blocked that when I will talk about relationship, I'm going to open up our eyes on how to make a man and a woman. Never to do without you for a second. Giving out your body is not inclusive. It is not even part of it. A man hits you, you say, I'm sorry. Let that man dump you and meet a lady that will be on her neck one day. She will remember I am sorry. When the opposite of you happens, you will remember. Exactly. But I'm not going there now. When I'll check this, I'll tell you that every of your activity matters in a relationship. Please let us stand up and pray. I need you to pray, just one prayer. God, I am very sorry in any way I have forgotten that I'm a creator. God, I'm very sorry in any way I have made human being my God by being much angry that he left me. God, I'm sorry in any way I have depended on what I saw. Lord, I'm sorry for leaving the standard and going for availability. Tell God, I'm sorry for not concurring to the precepts and principles of this kingdom. We have a principle. We have precepts. Tell God I'm sorry for making myself less than whom I am. Tell God I am sorry for hurting my future.
I'm heading we go to the purpose of men. Father, not glory that we are created. Father, the King of glory, we are sorry. Father, the King of kings, the Lord of hosts. Father, the place to forgive us, O God, that we have messed ourselves in so much ways. Father, the King of glory, let thy hand and never be kindled against us, O God. Because we have misbehaved in so many ways. Father, we have prospered in so many ways. Father, we have bestowed our trust, we have entrusted a lot of our things to God.
Talk to him.
King of glory, we pray, we call that thou shalt have mercy on us. King of glory, ancient of the days, the Lord of the valley. Father, we have done a lot of wrong things to God. We have done wrong things out of trust. We have
talk to him.
Out of trust.
I know.
Out of understanding. King of glory, ancient of the days. Lack of wisdom, lack of understanding.
You make me. You want me to be.
We have come back to consensus now.
I know.
Teach us a way, teach us a way, teach us a way.
I know. I know. You made my life so great. Never again. To be one I will be. Who you have made to be.
To be the best that you have planned and ordained us to be. Kings, Lord of Lords, El Shaddai. Oh God, open our eyes, oh God. Oh Father, even the God we plan to
Divorce should not be your problem.
open our eyes to another dimension of
Having a child should not be your problem.
to another dimension of
Your family
enlightenment.
background should not be your problem.
Father, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, truth of God, the blood of Jesus, which we have received. Father, let our ways of God of justice be amended. Father, may we remember that we are
In Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Amen.
Just lift up your hand. Tell God, I put everything behind my back. I am facing the future from now.
Father, we are putting everything behind us and we are facing the future for real right now. King of glory and Shaddai, give also God of justice the guidance to face the future, O God, and direct that which is going to be fruitful unto us, which is going to be productive unto us in the future. Father, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, whatsoever that has happened, O God, we have put it at the back. And King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the days of our ignorance, O God, will make us, O God, that you will forgive. And now we pray, O God, and plead for the wisdom, for the understanding and knowledge of God to be able to pilot our future, to be able to pilot our destiny, to be able to rule our destiny. Oh, King of glory, El Shaddai, Lily of the Valley. It takes divine wisdom. Oh, Father, it takes a word of justice, endowment of divine knowledge for us to be able to handle that which you have bestowed upon us. Father, the light which was lighted upon everyone that comes into this world can never be extinguished, O God of justice, by any wayward attitude, by any wayward attitude.
We pray.
Amen.
Say after me, Lord, tonight I have realized
Tonight I realized
that I am the light of my family.
that I am the light of my family.
Tonight
Tonight
I concur
I concur
with these truths
with this truth
that my family
that my family
can never remain in darkness.
can never remain in darkness.
I am their vindicator.
I am the vindicator. Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
I know my Redeemer lives. I know He never leaves. I know when He will start His work, all the world we know that my Redeemer lives. I know my Redeemer lives. I know He never leaves. I know when He will start His work, all the world we know that my Redeemer lives. I know my Redeemer lives. I know He never forsake me. I know when He will start His work, all the world we know that my Redeemer lives.
The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding have been bestowed upon me, O God, to take my family to a greater height, to a greater level tomorrow. Father, the light that you have bestowed upon my life, I will use it to take my family to a
Jesus' mighty name we pray.
Amen.
Fathers of faith have been giving advices. In one of our programs, I will target advices of our fathers of faith. You will see their one. That the person you are involved in life determines how far you will go. That person can be good, but might not take you anywhere. Being good is different from actualizing your future with you. Your goodness can even make your Lift up your head. Say to God, I need a perfect match. Not an assumed match, a perfect match.
us. Father, give us a perfect match. Not marry a regret, not marry a boy and destroy it tomorrow. King of glory, I should give us a perfect match that we understand this, that we understand each other. King of glory, I should give us a perfect match. Your marriage is not justice, but be the one with understanding, the one that be the one without justice, with knowledge. To us to bring shape into our relationship or marriage tomorrow, Father, today we set a way and the power in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Lift up your hands wherever you are. Say after me. Ipa mama, masia masi. If you know the name of this song, you sing it because you know he is the person that knows your future. Ipa mama, masia masi. Chile mama, masia masi. Beautiful faces in our midst. Look at outstanding personalities. I don't see you ending like an ordinary person. Together, we can build the future. Again, stop being trapped with this word marriage. Pastor wants to trap you down in prophesy marriage. A man wants to catch you up on the road, he presents marriage. Lift up your hands. Another special prayer. There is a day with your king. There is a day with your king. That's the reason why people that have found favor in the eyes of God might block their ways. Look at what Christ did and gave room to the guards and the officers to speak when they are not supposed to speak. There are people who have found opportunity, but they are foolish. But you that is here that have seen such opportunities and you are praying to have it because you know you can handle it better. Lift up your head. Say, the day with my king can never be omitted. The day with my king is not actualized. Today for celebration.
The day of our celebration can never be limited. That day which you have assigned the Lord to bless our life. That day which you have assigned to us to meet our destiny helper. That can never be omitted. In the name of Jesus, the day of our people can never be omitted. Father, the day of our blessing can never be omitted. Father, we pray and look forward to God for meeting that very day. Father, that day we come into fulfillment in the power of Father, that day can never be omitted. Nothing will ever make that day a God of justice to elapse without me being appointed to my people. In the name of Jesus.
Now lift up your hand. Say after me, I will not regret.
I will not regret
For them that left me.
for them that left me,
But they will regret.
but they will regret
For losing me.
for losing me. Yeah!
Do you know the meaning of that prayer? Lift up your hand. Say, Father, I am no more crying. For those that feel they dumped me. But today they will regret for losing me. Amen. Yes. Finally, lift up your hand. Say, my look
My good
can never be in vain.
can never be in vain.
My content
My content
can never be in vain.
can never be in vain.
My service
My service
can never be in vain.
can never be in vain.
Every good thing
Every good thing
about me
about me
must draw goodness to my life.
to my life.
Amen. Enough of nights will not be enough to spot the money. Much more hours of the night can never stop money from coming. Serving stays only for night season. Once morning comes, morning goes.
Oh yes.
Once MORNING comes, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G. Goals. Appearance of money means disappearance of money. Do you believe that? Let my money appear. So that money will disappear. Shout and receive it. Say after me, good God. Good God. Be with me. Be with me. I decree. My celebration. Is sure. Amen. Sit down.
Thank you, Jesus.
Look at three people and say, can we have a new version of our lives? Can we do that?
Yes, sir.
Keep everything behind and go for things that are real. Yes. If you have kept God aside, be reconnected. Praise God.
Hallelujah.
Again, I want to beg most of you. We are in an advanced world. Stop living cake. Number 2. As you are living as somebody who is exposed, define your actions never to be misinterpreted. You are living your life like you are exposed. Make sure you pattern yourself so that you will not be what? Misinterpreted. I have grown to the level that the way you post your pictures is not the true definition of your life. Sometimes the way you dress, there are some masquerade that does evil than naked people. There are people that mask themselves, but they are dangerous than they. But again, think of why you must be the way you are. Help some people so that they will not ascribe you to who you are. Thank you, sir. Then what am I advising? I'm looking at most of you. Be modest. I'm not seeing anyone here that looks like evil. Be modest. Be very outstanding. Be modest. Eh?
Yes, sir.
May good God whom you've gathered to come to this point, ensure your safety.
Amen.
Perfect your future.
Amen.
Angels are connecting your names tonight to ensure that you are not stranded. It must end up in praise. It must end up in praise. It must end up in praise. Celebration will be the full stop. In Jesus' mighty name. Hallelujah.
Praise God.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord.
This is Living Olive, a vision on a mission.